Hello, my name is Justin, and I want to show you an example of how you can take any kind of a workflow and turn it into an app on SharePoint. So today's example is with employee photos. Imagine we have some kind of a process where employees are submitting photos of themselves and others so that the company can use them. And in order to do that, we need to get consents from everybody that's tagged in the photo. Now, it might be that you are just receiving these photos in a random way, kind of by email, and then you're asking the person, like, who are these people in the photo? They might give you the list of the names by email, or they might not. They might say, I don't know who this person is. And well, now you have a treasure hunt to find out who these people are. And once you know who they are, then you have to reach out and get consents from them. And this is probably a very manual thing for you to do with emails and spreadsheets. So we're getting rid of all the emails and the spreadsheets, and I'll show you how. So we've got a SharePoint page here. Mine's at automateofficework.sharepoint.com/sites/ I've got a SharePoint called test, and then I've got site pages, and I have a page called employeephotos.aspx. When you go there, you see this kind of a home page with a nice banner, shows who I am. Because I am an admin of this, I do have a settings gear. I can further edit this page. I can bring in another SharePoint page to show content underneath here, but I haven't done that. I've got these 4 buttons that I can submit a photo. I can look at the library of photos that are all ready to go. I can see my photos and I can see my tasks. And a person that's not an admin who's coming here, they would have submit a photo. They would be able to look at the photos that either they have submitted or that they were tagged in and they gave consent. And a person could also have a list of tasks, like the admin person, like myself, might have some photos to review. Another person might have some consents that are on their list of tasks to either give consent or not. So I'm going to click on submit a photo. Takes me to this page. Page equals submit. I've got a nice big button to upload a photo. I'm going to come here and grab a photo from Unsplash. All right, I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can see more of the photo. But it says drag and resize face frame or face blur box and place on each face. Click the X below to remove a box. Okay, so I go down below and I've got these 2 buttons for a face and a blur. So a face is a person, and I've got a box that's added in the top left. I can place this on a person. I can resize it. I can put it exactly to cover this person's face. And this can be a person in my company. It can be a person, it says non-company person, company person's child, or a non-company person's child, or I don't know who this person is. Now, my company is only accepting these values if it's a person in the company or if it's that person's child. If it's anybody else, you're going to get an error that says, sorry, we're not taking these photos. So I've got AOW, that's my company Automate Office Work person. And as I start typing JUST, it goes out and it searches the Outlook address book, and it returns any email addresses that have these letters in there. So I've got Justin at automateofficework.onmicrosoft.com. I'm going to click on that, and now I have this person, and you can also see their email address is in that box up there. Also, as I hover over this, no, it's as I go down here. If I hover over this person's row, that red box is actually completely filled in, so I can tell which person this is if I actually have multiple face boxes. I'm going to pretend that I don't know these people, or they do not actually want to give consent, just because in my company, I'm the only person with this email address, and you can only have one company person per email address. You can have multiple children of that person selected, but I'm going to do instead a blur. And I clicked on blur and I come back up here. Now I've got a blur box that I can move and I can resize. And you notice as I get away, the person's face is actually blurred out. And depending on the size of this person's face, sometimes you need to increase the intensity of the blur, and that's down here. You can increase it, and I don't know if you can tell, but that's getting really blurry as I go to the extreme right side. So you can find like a good amount of blur to blur that person's face. And let's do these 2 other people as well. Okay, grab this one, put this on her. Generally, we cover eyes and mouth, and that's enough of a blur. This person might not really need a blur, but especially over the eyes, I guess. We only have a little bit visible. Okay, so I've got the person tagged. Let's imagine I have all the people tagged, and I am the actual submitter. So now instead of just giving you a random email with a photo and saying, I don't know who these people are, or here they are, and you don't know which person is which, good luck going and getting these consents. No, I'm actually the submitter, and I'm doing a lot of the work for you. I am tagging and giving you the coordinates of the people's faces. I also have a little legalese here. I confirm I'm the owner of this photo. I have the right to give it to the company. I'm granting rights to the company to use it. I understand that this consent I'm giving consent myself. I understand the consent will apply through and after my employment. I confirm that all identifiable people have been tagged with their email addresses and they will be able to give consent further, all this blah, blah, blah. Down below that, I've got some tags for like region, division of the company, function of the company, and some kind of other. We can do like diversity inclusion, these ERG and giving and volunteering. So, we're going to have different initiatives where we're wanting to use these photos, and I'm just giving a little bit more extra metadata so that this library of photos is going to be extra useful, and I can do that myself, or I can let the communications team who's going to be looking at this library, they can also apply tags, but I think it's extra helpful if the submitter just gives their own tags. I can also type in a story, like what's going on here in this photo. It says here, is there a story behind this photo? Please share it below to help us considering how we might use it in company communications. So you can use multiple stories. A group of, let's say, HR employees. I can add that. Save. That's my story. And then there's a story might be like, this is at the celebration of somebody's award ceremony. So that's the story. And then description is a group of HR employees. You can add that, and you can be even more, I guess, even more vague. You can just say employees. Add this. So it does say give descriptions, and feel free to enter a range of descriptions that are specific to broad, because again, this is going to be in a library of photos, and the communications group will be able to look them up. Okay, so I think I've done enough. Oh, I've also got a translation here. So if English is not my first language, I can read this in multiple languages. I'm going to click on submit, and it's going to give an error. You must check the checkbox that you confirm and agree. So come back up here. I did not check this box that I confirm. So I'm going to click on it that I do confirm. All right. It is going to give me any other error. Like if I didn't give the person's email address, if this was a non-company person, all of this kind of stuff, it would give errors. Okay, let's see if I have no errors now. Click on submit. Saving. It is saving the photo in like multiple different sizes of the photo. It's refreshing the page, and it sends a photo to the communications team. It now says the status is under review. I can see when this was submitted. I can see the legalese that the person agreed to. If I click on that, it says I confirm I am the owner. I've got the person's email address and a date stamp. I do have this photo now, and all the blurs have been applied to it so far. Come down here, come back. I've got my bigger size photo, and I see the face frame. Me as a reviewer, I can move this around. I can resize it. These other blurs I cannot move. They've already been applied to the photo itself. So going forward, these faces have been completely blurred out, and we are good to go. Okay, so me as a communications person, I'm checking for quality of the photo. We actually did have like minimum dimensions when the person submitted the photo. It actually checked to make sure it was bigger than the minimum size. And I have all the faces tagged. I see this person. I can re-tag this person. I can give them a different email address if I really wanted to. I could remove this person, and I can add my own blur. I can add more faces. I think I can also, yeah, I can also reject this, and I tell the person why I'm rejecting it. They can always submit it again with like better data. And all of these different tags, geography, maybe I know that, aha, this is in the US, so I'm going to tag that. Maybe I know the different divisions, functions, these different topics. I can edit this story if I want to. I can add more descriptions. And now you start seeing we have an extra box that says places used. And this is going to be extremely useful going forward because we're going to have a database of everywhere in the company that's using this photo. Now, we also have all the people tagged, and we're going to have a record of their consents. And as soon as this person leaves the company, we can then have an automation that's looking to see, is everybody still in the company? And if somebody leaves, we can automatically blur their face. We can also send an email notifying everybody who has used this photo that the photo is now updated and they should go change it if they need to. You know, if this is the company website and we want current employees only in photos on our website, then yes, this is absolutely useful. But if it's something like this is a photo that was used in a LinkedIn post 5 years ago and a person left, well, maybe we might decide we're not going to go update the photos in the post from 5 years ago. But it gives the person who used this a chance to do that. So this is places used. It says, please list below where you use this photo. We may notify you by email when this photo is withdrawn or a consent is withdrawn, and you may choose to take further action. So by default, I have my own email address here. I can put somebody else if I know that they're using it. And I also have a note. Maybe I say where I'm using this photo. And I have these two boxes, notify me when consent withdrawn and notify me when photo withdrawn. So the entire photo could be deleted also. The person giving us this photo could decide, you know, I want to take this back. Okay, I'm going to close that. I also have notes, and this is for me in the communications team. We might be like doing things like removing the background, maybe touching up the photo, and putting this in a separate library. And so we can make a note of that it's in this special library, for example. Okay, I can also reject this photo and I give a reason. I might tell them the photo isn't good enough quality, or we have too many of this type of photo. We have too many groups of people. We need a different kind of photo maybe. So I'm gonna say approve, submitting. Okay, and now you see the status is out for consent. A consent was sent to every person that has been tagged. So that includes me. I'm the person who's going to be giving consent. I receive an email with this same URL. The URL is always the same. I receive a URL and I come to this. I am being asked to give consent. I see I'm being tagged as a company person. I see my email address. I see some legalese. I give consent, blah, blah, blah. And now I have a set of checkboxes that what they can use this photo for. They can use it for print publications, videos, digital, organizational communications, publicity and advertising efforts. I'm just going to check the first two, but it's going to be noted in our library. All the people that gave consent, they have to align on these certain kinds of categories. And then the photo can only be used for those categories where everyone checked that same box. Okay, so I can give consent. I can also say blur me, I do not give consent. So because the system already knows the coordinates of my face, if I click blur me, I do not give consent, the system can automatically blur that face because it already has the coordinates of the face. I can also say this is not me, like maybe the person mistagged me, and it asks, can you give any feedback to help the submitter correctly identify this person? This is optional. I can give them a note like, hey, this is Bob in finance. This isn't me or something. And I can send this back. It then goes on a list of tasks for that submitter to retag. Okay. Let's see. I'm a consenter. I'm also an admin, so I do technically have the ability to change all these, but the consenter would not. They would not be able to add all these things, and they would not be able to delete the photo. I can only see this because I'm an admin of this whole platform as well. So I'm going to give consent. I give consent. It is recorded in the system. I was the last person to give consent, so now the photo is ready. These people are blurred out. This one person has given consent. We can see this person's details. Because I am the person who gave consent, I do have a link here to withdraw consent. And when I withdraw consent, my consent is deleted and the face is automatically blurred because we have the coordinates. I can see the record of this consent by clicking on it. It opens and I can see the little legalese and I can see the photo. So it says I give consent to these two categories that I checked. Okay, I can see that. So this is all really, really good. And now the communications team has this in a library. They can always make changes if they need to. They can move this around. They can resize it. They can perhaps send it out for another, because maybe there's a person in the background that's kind of fuzzy, but yeah, maybe we decide, yeah, that needs to go out for consent. They can always add another face. They can always add a new blur to blur that person out. They can always update these tags. They can change the story, the descriptions. The places used is a really good thing to have. And they can always delete the photo in the future. Okay, so I've got this. It said like a group of HR employees. It says employees. So I'm going to go to my photos. Okay, now I'm in the library. I have a single photo here, and I can click on it. And it brings me back to the same page. I'm going to go back again to go back to the library. And we do have a filter here. You can search. So if I say like group, click enter. Remember, this was a group of employees or a group of HR employees. So I can put HR and it shows that. If I put something like party, there is no photo that matches that. Okay, we can also, here, I'm going to clear the search. We can also search off of the filters. I can search off of and see all the photos that this one person submitted, and it also shows me it's one photo that they did. I can search off of the region, the function, the topic, and this is the use, that print publications and videos. So if I wanted to say like, I need to find a photo that's like planting trees in Australia, and it needs to be able to be used in a video. I could do that. I could find this photo very easily. I might even do like searching the word for a group. If I want a group of people instead of a single individual, I can do that as well. Okay, so this is super powerful, guys. We can also have automations running in the background, like running every night to check and see if every single person who is in these photos and has given consents is still with the company. And if they leave the company, we can automatically set off a workflow because we already know the coordinates of where the person's face is. The system can automatically blur the photo and then notify everybody who's used the photo to go update wherever they've used it. Okay, so I hope you find this useful. I'll probably go into this more in depth later. All right, my name is Justin. I'm with Automate Office Work. I am an ex-corporate lawyer, and I automated the hell out of all my work, just going so deep into SharePoint. And you can literally use SharePoint to smooth out all of your workflows. You can see how we're using photos here. You can imagine like this is any kind of a file or a document. Get rid of the spreadsheets. Get rid of the chaotic emails. All right, happy automating.